Both of them, how much?
Hey, stop! Stop him!
Thank you, ma'am. You just about saved my life.
I just happened to see him as he was taking it.
Well, just about everything I own is in here. Not to mention my driver's license and social security number.
Then you're an American.
How could you tell? Toubo Smith. That's your service, miss.
Toubo Smith? Then you're a friend of Tim Kelly's.
Not only his friend, he's my partner.
My husband mentioned both of your names only this morning.
Husband?
Yes, I'm Karen Holt. We were told that you're the only guides in Durham who'll take us where my husband wants to go. I heard that you'll do anything if there's enough money in it.
Oh, well, now you know how exaggerated talk can get.
Will you help me?
Why, sure. Just name it. After all, you just saved me from going on relief.
It's a very difficult trip, and I'm afraid for my husband's health. Frankly, I'd rather he didn't go.
Well, you want Tim and me to try and talk him out of it?
Yes, but he mustn't suspect that I had anything to do with it. Look, whatever he offers to pay you as your fee, I'll pay you more.
Well, now this sounds like a surefire proposition for us. Just where's he planning to go?
Namtok.
You know, for a minute I thought you said Namtok.
I did.
Well, Mrs. Holt, you have nothing to worry about. No one in his right mind to try to get from here to Namtok.
Oh, and my husband was waiting for Tim Kelly at the hotel when I left. I hope he hasn't already talked him into making the trip.
Well, we better get over there. There's no telling about Tim sometimes.
Is Mr. Holt still in the suite?
The last party to make that trip through Lolo country had Bren guns and an army escort, and they barely got through.
But that was during the war. Things have changed since then.
Only for the worse, Mr. Holt. During the war, the military boys had air support, and the Lolo tribe developed a healthy respect for a P-40's machine guns. Why don't you settle for a tiger shoot? I can arrange everything for you. Gun bearers, beaters, the works.
I'm not interested in shooting tigers, Mr. Kelly, nor any kind of beast. Mrs. Holt and I are only anxious to reach Namtok as soon as possible.
Gary, in Calcutta, remember the travel agent? He told us that we could approach Namtok from the north. Well, that way we'd never have to cross the Lola country.
Mr. Kelly, my wife.
How do you do, Mrs. Holt?
How do you do? Oh, Gary, this is Toubo Smith. We met quite by accident this afternoon.
How do you do?
I'm trying to convince your partner to get us to Namtok at the right time, before the rain starts.
No time is the right time to go to Namtok, Mr. Holt.
Gary, why don't we motor back to Kona and pick up the plane as far as the border? It'll only take us a few days.
Karen, you know how important it is to beat the rainy season. If we don't get to Namtok this trip, we never will. My hobby is archaeology, Mr. Smith. The ruins at Namtok and the indications there of a pre-Chalcolithic culture have long been a dream and a challenge to me.
How about you, Mrs. Holt? How do you feel about this?
Where Gary goes, I go, Mr. Kelly.
Even if it means possibly risking your lives,
This is the 20th century, Mr. Kelly.
the Lolos haven't changed since the 4th century. They're a bloodthirsty lot of head-hunting pirates.
They'd like nothing better than to make a couple of trophies out of both of you.
I'll join you upstairs, Karen. Now that you've made it sound dangerous enough, what is your price?
No price, we're not going.
Has Mrs. Holt discussed this matter with you?
I hadn't the pleasure of meeting Mrs. Holt until a moment ago.
$5,000 interest you?
Living does.
10,000. Maybe it's half as dangerous as you make out.
No soap, Mr. Holt. I'm thinking of your wife.
Leave her out of this.
Leave her out of it, and maybe you've got a deal.
Very gallant of you, Mr. Kelly. Too bad she isn't here to hear you say that. Know where I go, Mrs. Holt always goes. She's very beautiful. Don't you agree? We would have ample time to get well acquainted during the journey, wouldn't we? Think it over. Oh, in case you decide against us, I've been informed that a guy by the name of Baku would be willing to take us to Namtok.
Baku, a guide? Why, that half-caste pirate would lose you the first day just to steal your supplies.
I doubt that very seriously, Mr. Kelly. In any event, I'll be back for your answer in 10 minutes.
I don't get it. Risking your neck to shoot a cat or buffalo, maybe, but to go dig up some broken prehistoric demitasses is beyond me.
I don't think that's the reason he's going.
What would be the reason?
I think he's out to prove something or other.
Such as what?
Well, you've seen her, haven't you?
Yeah. She told me she doesn't want to go.
Well, she doesn't want him to go. But if he goes, she will.
I still don't get it.
It's crazy mixed up love, my boy.
Oh, who are you kidding? I've been in love 100 times and never took that form. You know, I think his nibs is off his rocker.
Well, it's the same thing. Anyhow, he's going to go regardless of what we do.
So?
So it's up to us to guide him.
What's that for?
Crocodiles, Mr. Holt. When we reach the Urati swamps, they grow the biggest there. 450 Express really doesn't kill them. Just blows them into pieces. Too small to be dangerous.
I'm sure you're exaggerating, Mr. Smith.
Well, this is the jumping-off place, Mr. Holt. Tomorrow, the rest of the safari and the jeep go back to Darm.
I want to talk to you about a change of route across the Lolo country. As you explained, we stay on the high ground almost all of the way.
All except when we go down to cross the Irati.
I've been studying the map, Mr. Kelly. I think we could save several days by cutting straight across the low country.
Both routes are dangerous, Mr. Holt. The high ground is just a little less dangerous, that's all.
Nonsense. Time is of the essence. I prefer that we take the shorter way.
You'll take the route I choose, Mr. Holt. Our job is to get you and Mrs. Holt to Namtok alive.
You are melodramatic, aren't you? You're wasting it on me, Mr. Kelly. Why don't you save it for her?
Oh, my favorite perfume's just about all gone. And I'm sure it'll be a long time before we'll be able to buy any more.
Why don't you put some on?
Darling, do you really want me to?
What do you care what I want? Put it on for him.
Gary, why do you want to start that all over again?
What have I started? You started it.
Gary, I love you. Don't you understand?
You love me. I wish to heaven I could believe that, Karen.
Darling, it's true. I do.
And why do you torture me? I've been watching you two. It's always this way with any man.
Beautiful evening, Mrs. Holt.
You, familiar with firearms?
I'll leave all the shooting to the men.
Hope your husband's a good shot.
I wouldn't know. So far, I don't think he's shot anybody, but then he doesn't tell me everything about himself. You know, I feel like we're sitting at a ringside table at Sanssouci, Rue. Listen, they're playing my song.
I'll see if I can get him to change the record.
Mrs. Holt, why don't you go back with the rest of the safari in the morning?
Haven't you heard, Mr. Kelly? Where my husband goes, I go.
Why?
I love him.
Does he love you?
I don't know. I don't know if it's love or hate.
That why you're so afraid?
Does it show?
Yes, it does.
Well, I guess I'm a pretty poor actress.
What is your husband trying to prove?
You've got it wrong, Mr. Kelly. He's not trying to prove anything. I am.
All right, hold it. From here on, no shooting at anything.
Some fresh meat would go well with dinner tonight.
No sense in advertising we're here. The artillery strictly for self-defense. Mrs. Holt, ready to go on?
Karen?
I'm ready when you are, Gary.
All clear. Let's go.
Hey, Tim.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Can we still take the shorter route?
Without water, we have no choice. We have to. Let's go. What are you trying to do? Let the Lolos know where we are?
Oh, really, Mr. Kelly, it can't be quite that bad.
Toubo, take the party 3 miles due east of here and wait for me. You better travel as rapidly as you can. Oh, and keep all firearms away from Mr. Holt, unless you're under direct attack.
Your sarcasm is quite unnecessary, Mr. Kelly. I'll apologize if I've done something wrong.
The Lolos will send scouts out to investigate that shot. I'm going to try to make sure they don't get back to report anything.
Well, Horatio at the bridge. We have quite a hero, don't we?
Come on, you. I'm thinking of my own skin.
We'll have to get out of here fast and hope they lose our trail.
We heard the shot.
The animals will just hold us up. We'll have to make it without them. Let's get the packs. Kill that cigarette. Your watch, Mr. Holt.
Have a nice rest, Mr. Kelly.
What that guy needs is a good psychiatrist.
Hey. How long have you been awake?
I've been asleep. I don't trust that guy enough to go to sleep. Here, take a look at this. That's part of the cinch strap that broke and lost us our drinking water.
Well, it could have been cut before we left. Maybe one of Baku's men.
Yeah? Well, what about that pot shot he took after you told him not to shoot at anything? You know, this guy's either a fool or he's crazy. He doesn't look stupid to me.
If we can hit the Irati there, we can get across without too much trouble. The reports from the Army boys say that it's mostly rocky shallows. We can wait it.
And we better head a little more north. About in there.
Jerry will be in Namtok in no time at all. And ahead of the rains, too.
Won't that be too bad, Karen? The trip will be over. You and Mr. Kelly will be saying goodbye.
Gary!
You couldn't be further off base, Mr. Holt.
You don't fool me, Mr. Kelly. Neither does Mrs. Holt. I've got eyes in my head. I know human nature. Karen is very beautiful.
Gary, please don't start that all over again.
And desirable. But she only uses her beauty to destroy those who love her.
Gary, please. Mr. Kelly, try to understand.
She's destroyed me, Mr. Kelly. And she'll destroy you. Or any man she takes a fancy to. If I didn't love her so, I'd kill her with my own hands instead of...
Instead of what, Mr. Holt?
Try and make him see how wrong he is.
Were you going to say instead of letting fate do the job?
What's the matter? You nuts or something?
Mr. Holt has a bad case of being unable to live with or without Mrs. Holt.
Oh.
So it's a battle to see if he's going to live at all. He's unable to kill her or himself.
So you set it up for the Lolos to do it?
Well, let's say he helped fate along a little.
I hear it. Sounds like a hunting party. With the beaters spread out, driving the game ahead of them.
It's coming from over there.
Yeah, and over there, too. It's a hunting party, all right, with plenty of beaters. Lolo beaters, and we're the game.
Well, look at him, Tim. It's just what he wanted.
Is it really serious, Mr. Kelly?
Well, figure it out for yourself. They're closing in on three sides of us. Spread out within sight and sound of one another, driving us toward the river, but not toward the ford.
When they got us cut off that way, we'll never make it.
What are we going to do now?
That's right. Go ahead and ask him. He's got all the answers. Haven't you, Mr. Kelly? This is right up your alley. Your chance to play hero again.
Gary.
Would you like to take over, Mr. Holt?
I've given up walking on picket fences to impress little girls, Mr. Kelly. You're still in charge.
All right. We'll try to reach the Irwadi and then see what we can do. I'm going to try to make it across the river with this rope. Toubo, cover the pass. Mrs. Holt, get out of sight. And you, Holt, you cover me till I get tied off across on the other side. And blast any crock you see.
Tim, the Lolos might as well have a fifth columnist here to let him run loose.
I'll have to take that gamble. Feeding me the line. keep an eye open for Crocs.
Yes, Mr. Kelly. Hold! Shoot!
Shoot, Gary, shoot!
Give me that!
He made it.
Where's your husband?
Gary! Gary!
Toubo, hurry, make a sling for Mrs. Holt.
Gary! Gary!
Hand me that log there.
Here. Oh, I must find him.
Okay, Toubo.
Gary!
Toubo! Catch!
Gary!
Come on, let's get in here.
But I can't leave him like this. I
Let's
can't.
make the best of it, sister. Hang on now. Tim! Okay!
The crack!
Did you see?
Your husband may have lost all the other battles, Mrs. Holt. But he won the last one. That's the one that mattered.